Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a smoked brisket. This is a 17-pound brisket that we're going to trim, we're going to season it, we're going to inject it, we're going to get it on the smoker, smoke it for between 12-16 hours, and let it rest for a little bit, and then we're going to get it all sliced up and ready to go. So as you can see here, the finished product is looking pretty good. Keep watching. Tune in and I'll show you the rest on how we did this. Okay, so we need to get started with opening the brisket. You can see I've got my fancy knives here, Christmas presents, along with my fancy hat and my fancy apron my children bought me. So we'll just get this brisket opened up here and try to keep from spilling the blood all over the table, making a huge mess because I don't want to clean it up. Alright, so the first step for this cook is going to be to trim the brisket. We're going to get rid of this big chunk of fat here. We're going to try and keep this relatively flat, and then we're going to get rid of some of these other fatty pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. Alright, we got that large piece. Now we're going to take off this hard piece here. Now you're going to take off a little bit of meat on here. It's not bad. We're not going to throw all this away. What we don't use we'll feed to the dogs. We'll cook it first and then give it to the dogs, and it's a good treat for them. They really enjoy it. And some of these loose pieces, they're going to burn off, or they're going to end up just turning all crunchy on the smoker, so we'll take those off too. Alright, it helps on some of these to get kind of down underneath it. I'm going to push it up. And you can get those pieces a little easier. Alright, there's this large chunk back here. I'm just going to remove almost that entire chunk there. Try to finish trimming that up when I get to the back end of it. Now there's still this large chunk of fat on this side, and I'm going to go ahead and remove some of this. I'll clean up on the other side as well. Alright. I think we've got this side pretty well trimmed down. A little bit right there. Some of this pieces I'm working on this side will get on the other side and flip it over. Alright. So now we got this big old fatty side. You can see right away we're going to cut this piece off here. Really not even any meat in that one, just straight fat. That one cut off a little bit of meat, not terrible. Really just want to make this flat, so it looks like we're really trimming off a lot. We really are, but it's getting us a flat, smooth surface for cooking, which will just make a better brisket. With the brisket this size, it's just a little hard to handle. Really just going to try and round out this side. All right. Looks like we've got it pretty good and trimmed. Like I said, you take quite a bit off of it, but in the end, it's worth it. I'm gonna run up this little edge over here. All right. So now I think we're good. It did take off quite a bit, but in the end, it's worth it. We really took away the stuff nobody's gonna eat. Nobody wants to eat all that fatty meat when they bite into it. It's a little smoother surface. Not perfect, but it's good enough. We're not exactly doing competition barbecue here. This is at home cooking, so I think it'll be just fine. My family will appreciate it, and to be honest, probably wouldn't notice a difference, but I will. So that's what matters. All right, so now that we have this all done and ready for the next step, we're gonna get the injection ready and we'll come back in a moment. So next we're gonna do the injection. So for this piece, we worked to prepare the injection off screen so that we didn't have to go through waiting for that. We're just gonna inject using this, and we're just gonna do every inch or so. We're gonna try and go with the grain, but to be honest, I'm not great at it, so we'll just see how it goes. I'm just gonna do a very small amount in each spot. I really need to get one of those injection guns because this one's not anywhere near as good. It's a good starter, but requires too much work. So just do a little bit there, another. As you can see, it makes quite a bit of mess. It just got all over my technology there, so that's good for it. And the flat down here is the least juicy part of this brisket. There we go. So I'm gonna make sure that I get this part really thoroughly. And this is why you'll see recommendations for putting your hand over it as you're injecting. Stabbing directly through the bottom of the pan. Looks like we got that pretty good. You can set that off to the side. I'm gonna get this patted down, dried off, and then we're gonna be ready to put the rub on. So there we go. All right, so now that the injection is all done, we can begin applying the rub. So we're gonna use this pre-mixed rub here that we like, that I use on all my briskets. And we're just gonna hold it up high here to make a little bit of a mess. But we're gonna sprinkle it pretty thoroughly all throughout the brisket here. Get a good crust on it. Go back over all these little spots that I missed. Getting the sides is a little bit of a challenge in this pan. That should give a pretty good crust on this side. Oh. Getting hold of this thing is the challenge. Alright, now for this side. We've got a lot of excess down here, so I'm just going to kind of pat the sides along the excess. I'll just go over this side one more time. Just get the stuff that I knocked off. Spread it around here real good. Alright, so with that done, we've got the brisket ready to go into the smoker. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready for the next step, and looks like we'll have a special guest stopping by for Christmas Eve. So he'll be here shortly to walk you through the very next step. All right, Merry Christmas. So we've got the brisket all seasoned, and we are ready to put this on the smoker. And to be honest, I'm ready to do it because I got a lot of stuff to get done tonight. A lot of presents to take care of. So let's get this on the smoker, get it going. We'll let this cook to about 165, come out and wrap it, get it all ready for a nice brisket present to open on Christmas Eve, or Christmas morning. So there we go. All right, we're all good to go. We'll come out and check on it a couple more hours and see where we're at, and then check in early morning. All right, so we smoked this brisket overnight. I did not get a lot of sleep, so it's Merry Christmas to me as I get to go through this whole day with just a couple of hours of sleep. It's really cold outside. It's in the single digits, so I really had trouble maintaining the temperature on the smoker. It dropped really quickly, just as quickly as I put wood on the fire. It killed out with the temperature being so low and the wind's high. So I got this done the best I could. I gotta say, I don't know that it's my best work, but we've got dinner here in a couple of hours, so I've really got to move quick. I'm gonna go ahead and get these out of here. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. So we came out and wrapped this morning around 6 o'clock, and it's been smoking for about 5 hours since it was wrapped. The internal temperature is in the mid 190s, which is a little lower than I usually do, but it'll work. We're running out of time. Despite that, it still looks pretty good. Alright, so this is actually still pretty good crust on it. It looks like it's pretty full of juice and has a nice crust. So we're going to go ahead and get started on slicing this. So I'm going to go about 3/4 of the way up, right about where the point and the flat separate here. Just going to slice this. And it slices pretty easily. It's a good sign. As you can see, that came out pretty good. Still looking pretty juicy. Honestly, I'm a little shocked. I wasn't expecting this to come out as good as it did. So that's looking still pretty good. Alright, so we'll just start here. And honestly, it's juicy enough that it's making quite a bit of mess here. So definitely not something I'm going to complain about. Alright, now it's starting to crumble on me a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to finish cutting this up off screen. It's looking pretty good, and let me give it one little taste here. A lot more than I planned on taking off. Still super hot. It's tender, moist. Still tastes a little bit of that crust and the seasoning. It's really good. Yeah, I'm gonna tear into this. So it'll be a good Christmas present to myself. May not even share with everybody else. I may just. And Santa did wrap it last night for me, so it only seems fair that I'm the one that gets it. Especially since I did not get my Xbox for Christmas, like I'm pretty sure I should have, but I didn't. So still pretty hurt about that. But you know, I'll get over it. Alright, I'm gonna sign off here, get this all packed up, ready to go. Be sure to check out my other videos, subscribe, like this video, leave any comments if you have any suggestions, any questions. Feel free to reach out and let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, thanks for watching.